you see a colorful rolled-up carpet. As you pick up the carpet, you notice a small label which reads, "Property of Al Den." There might be a faded letter or two in there, but you cannot be sure. Above you, from the back room, you discern Angelina's voice.
I did it! I did it! The youth potion is finally finished. All I need to do now is drink it.
Angelina, show yourself, you scurvy wench.
Agatha? My dear! What an unexpected surprise!
Don't you play the fool with me. I know you stole it.
Stole? Really, I do not know.
Silence! For your lies and deceit, there can be only one consequence.
No, please. I can explain.
I said silence. Oh, and one more thing. Your invitation to join us is revoked. What is this? Ah, the youth potion at last. Oh no! Drat! Now what was that spell for removing floorboards? Curses! I shall have to go back and look it up.
You fish around in the pile of down and successfully retrieve the youth potion. Cautiously, you open the trapdoor ever so slightly and peer into the room above. Agatha is nowhere to be seen. You make your exit from the basement. You flick the latch. The trapdoor closes and conceals itself into the floorboards once more. You do not want to go back in there. You never know when Agatha might return to continue. The town gives You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet begins to rise skyward. As you ascend higher, you realize that the carpet is beyond your control. It glides through the air on a seemingly predetermined course. The plateau is a natural lofty outcropping from this mountain. The sky is splendid during the height of the day. The view is incredible from up here. Below lies the land of Colima, stretched out before you. You can make out the coastline, most of the forest, and a dismal, swampy area to the north. A snake blocks your path to the east. It appears to be about 10 feet long and is coiled up, ready to strike. The snake lashes out, striking with precision. Its lethal venom kills you instantly. Your history. It is a simple but carefully woven pendant of seagrass. A shiny opal dangles from it. Touching the necklace reveals that the opal is perfectly smooth. You try to place it around your neck, but it doesn't fit over your head. You dangle the shimmering opal in front of the snake. It soon falls hypnotized in typical snake fashion. It's too dark. You can't see down there. You reach into the cavity and feel around. What is this? You've discovered a button hidden inside the rock. You press it and wait to see what happens next. In an instant, a man stands beside you. He appears to be somewhat of an adventurer, much like yourself.
Greetings. I am King Graham of Daventry.
The newcomer nods in greeting. Without a word, he respectfully appraises you. You notice about him the manner of one who has only recently learnt the meaning of heroism.
From where do you hail, good sir?
The man opens his mouth to answer, but then pauses to consider that question. Evidently deciding that irrelevant exposition would serve neither party, he casually gestures to the hole in the rock behind you.
Might I inquire something of your identity?
After a brief search of his own person, the man pulls out a scroll card and hands it to you. You unroll it, and it reads, "Having fulfilled the requirements in accordance with the statutes of the famous Adventurers Correspondence School, the bearer is a qualified would-be hero." The man also shows you a medallion. Upon it are the words, "Hero of Spielberg." You reverently return the scroll to the man.
You don't say much, do you?
With a sigh of resignation, the man shakes his head silently.
Surely you might speak to me of your adventures.
The man becomes quite enthused about the prospect of relating his most recent adventure to you. Just as he is about to speak, however, you notice something on the ground that the man must have dropped. You retrieve the paper. It appears to be a scroll. Upon it is some writing. Disclaimer, you have just witnessed a rather shameless plug for the remake of Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire by the entities of AGD Interactive. Available now. As you read the writing, the words are ingrained in your mind. The scroll disappears. The cave is adorned with the most beautiful coverings you've ever seen. The material sparkles in the light from outside the cave. There's almost something unreal about this brilliant decor. Some incredibly valuable furniture has been placed here. You wonder how it is protected against the elements, as there are no obvious means of sealing the cave. A neatly displayed scroll hangs on the wall. However, its archaic symbols and wording will forever remain a mystery to you. An ancient book lies open on the workbench. Though its pages are torn and faded, the cover is still a bright blood red. As you had been expecting, this is your average, ordinary, run-of-the-mill cave. You flip through the book entitled Ye Old Book of Enchantments, Causes, and Cures. The first half contains a list of enchantments. These do not interest you, as you have no desire to inflict inconvenience upon others. However, the Cures section does capture your curiosity. While browsing, you spy a promising paragraph. You approach the workbench for a closer look. A clear beaker. It is useful for mixing various fluids, chemicals, and minerals together. These elaborate candlesticks are quite expensive looking. When lit, this device heats the beaker and any contents that it contains. A wick leads into the base, which is made of flint stone. The brooch has an enormous sapphire encircled by 2 rows of glittering diamonds. You toss the brooch into the beaker. You toss the sickly yellow flower into the beaker. There is no reason. You strike the head of the mallet against the flintstone. It sparks, and the wick catches alight. You watch, fascinated, as the 2 unlikely objects melt under the heat of the magical flame. You stir the mixture carefully with the white feather. It soon dissolves in the hot liquid. This is the sword of the first king of Daventry. It dates back almost 1,000 years and has been passed down from king to king since that time. Try not to damage it. A magnificent clear crystal is embedded within its hilt. You manage to dislodge the crystal that had been set within the hilt of the sword almost a millennium ago. You feel a tinge of guilt and wonder what all the past monarchs of Daventry would say if they saw you damaging ancient crown property. You drop the crystal in and watch, amazed, as the green liquid slowly seeps into it. Somewhere in this hot green liquid, your crystal has transformed into an emerald. The emerald has not yet been enchanted. You mustn't remove it from the beaker yet. The ancient book. You flip through the first.
Heed now these words. Crystal, perfect. Green is thy hue. Restore, correct. Guard well my form. Preserve, protect.
You recite the words correctly, line for line, and sure enough, only a brilliant emerald remains in the glass beaker. You quickly blow the flame out so as not to overheat the emerald and cause damage to it. Picking it up gingerly, you're amazed that the emerald took virtually no time at all to cool. As you direct the sun's light through the emerald at the snake, you behold a wondrous transformation. Before you now stands a magnificent winged horse.
Thank you for freeing me. A horrid enchanter transformed me into that legless thing after I refused to be his steed.
That was quite a gamble, to refuse an enchanter.
True, but I could not have accepted, even if I had wanted to. For I am a disciple of the cloud, and can serve no land dweller.
Disciple of the cloud? What does that mean?
First, tell me of what you seek up here.
You take a deep breath, then explain about the Door of Destiny, the gems of nature, and your present quest to locate the growth gem.
So, you seek the air gem?
Yes, that is right. You know of it?
Most certainly. But you will not be able to reach it by any means available to you or any of your kind. I would gladly take you to it, but alas, the enchanter took and hid from me my bridle. Without it, we could search for 1,000 years and still never find the cloud spirit.
Where did he hide your bridle?
I do not know. Perhaps a clue may be found in that blackguard's abode behind me.
You hear footsteps approaching. Uh-oh, the enchanter has caught you in his lair. He twirls his hands, aims them at you, and then utters some words under his breath. You feel a tingling sensation all over your body as the enchantment attempts to transform you into whatever the enchanter has fancied. At the same time, you also feel the comforting energy of the emerald shielding you. The enchanter's twisted smile turns downwards. He scowls at you. There is a look of panic on the man's face. He does not dare breathe.
I hereby order you to depart from Kalima forever, never to trouble its citizens again, lest you earn the fullness of my wrath.
The enchanter looks baffled. You sigh inwardly and try again.
Leave. If you come back, then you will get it.
The enchanter nods frantically, as much as he can without cutting his own neck on your sword edge. He gestures quickly with his hands. You notice that some writing has been engraved into the wall. You read the inscription. The engraving on the wall reads, "In row of stones that number 6, half and a pair from left do pick. Quell then my spell, avoid the tricks." You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet rises into the air again. The carpet begins to descend. You try to lift the stone, but it will not budge. You bend over and hold the emerald above the stone so that the sun's light channels through it. Incredible! The rock has transformed into a silver-studded bridle. You take the bridle